Diego Maradona, the football god who danced with demons and almost lost. The birth of a legend, a kid from the slums who defied the world. Picture this, a 5 feet 5 inches tornado in a Napoli jersey, dribbling past defenders like they're stuck in quicksand. The crowd screaming, the opposition's panicking, and the ball? It's glued to his left foot. This wasn't just football, this was Maradona. The man who turned stadiums into churches and defenders into memes. But here's the kicker, while he was outsmarting entire teams, his biggest battle wasn't on the pitch. It was in the mirror. By 8 years old, he was juggling a ball for hours without letting it touch the ground. By 10, he was the star of his local youth team, Los Cebollitas, where he scored 100-plus goals in a single season. By 15, he made his first division debut for Argentinos Juniors, becoming the youngest player in Argentine league history. The world was about to meet its greatest footballing prodigy and its most self-destructive superstar. The meteoric rise from Buenos Aires to global superstardom. Maradona wasn't just good, he was unplayable. Defenders fouled him because they had no other choice. By 1981, he signed for Boca Juniors, Argentina's most passionate club, and immediately delivered a title. His transfer to Barcelona in 1982 smashed the world record fee, £5 million, but Spain wasn't ready for him. In his first season, he suffered a brutal ankle-breaking tackle that sidelined him for months. In his second, he scored 38 goals in 58 games, but clashes with the board and a hepatitis diagnosis derailed his Camp Nou career. Then came the infamous Copa del Rey brawl, where Maradona sparked an all-out riot, leading to his exit. But this was just the prequel to his real masterpiece, Napoli. The Naples miracle, how one man turned a mafia-run club into champions. When Maradona arrived in 1984, Napoli was a laughingstock. They had never won Serie A, were overshadowed by Juventus and AC Milan, and had a fan base so desperate they prayed for miracles. Maradona delivered. 1986-87, he dragged Napoli to their first-ever Scudetto, scoring 10-plus goals and 10-plus assists in the campaign. 1989-90, he did it again, adding a UEFA Cup for good measure. His stats? 115 goals, 115-plus assists in 259 games, while facing the most brutal defenses in history. The city worshipped him like a saint. Murals of him were painted next to Jesus. Fans named their children after him. But beneath the glory, darkness loomed. 1986 World Cup, the greatest one-man show in football history. If Napoli was his kingdom, the 1986 World Cup was his coronation. Argentina's squad? Good. Maradona? Supernatural. Versus England, the hand of God, the cheekiest handball ever, followed by the goal of the century, a 60-yard solo run past 5 defenders, voted the best World Cup goal ever. Versus Belgium, another dribble masterpiece, leaving defenders on their knees. Final versus West Germany. Despite being kicked all game, he set up the winner. Final stats? 5 goals. 5 assists, directly involved in 10 of Argentina's 14 goals. 53 successful dribbles, more than entire teams. 1 World Cup trophy, almost single-handedly. The fall, when the party turned into a nightmare. But greatness has a price. By the late 1980s, Maradona was deep in addiction. Cocaine entered his life in Barcelona, but in Naples, the Camorra Mafia fed his habit. 1991, he failed a drug test, got a 15-month ban, and Napoli abandoned him. 1994 World Cup, a disgraceful exit after testing positive for ephedrine. His career became a roller coaster of comebacks and collapses. 1995, a brief return at Boca Juniors, where flashes of magic remained. 1997, retired at 37, his body wrecked by drugs, obesity, and injuries. The tragic what-if, how much greater could he have been? Maradona himself admitted, "I gave my opponents an advantage because of my illness. The player I could have been." Think about it. Lost 3+ prime years to bans. Played through addiction in his late 20s/early 30s. Still dominated like no one else. Could he have surpassed Pelé? Could he have outshone Messi? We'll never know. The final years, a broken legend. After retirement, his life spiraled. Yet, the world never stopped loving him. Legacy, the unmatched, unfiltered genius. FIFA's Player of the Century, tied with Pelé. Napoli retired as number 10, the ultimate honor. His '86 World Cup jersey sold for $9.3 million, most expensive ever. Final whistle. the god who fell to earth. Diego Maradona wasn't just a footballer. He was a force of nature, a rebel, a genius, a flawed hero. He played like every game was his last, because, in a way, it was. Would he have been greater without the demons? Probably. Would he have been as unforgettable? Never. Rest in chaos, Diego. Football will never see your like again.